Welcome, Jacinta. How are you?
Good, thanks, Deb. Nice to be here today.
Nice to be sitting with you today. And I've read a lot about you, and I've heard and watched few videos around you, your work, what you have done. But could you, talk to me about yourself?
Yeah, I was born in the United Kingdom in Swindon and grew up there till I was 8, and then moved to Australia, firstly to Sydney, as in the late 80s. And we stayed in Sydney for a year and a half, and then my parents made the decision to move to Perth. And from the age of 10 onwards, we spent, Perth has been home, basically. It's been a fantastic place to grow up, lots of opportunities, and I wouldn't think of anywhere else to stay and settle down long term. And it's great now having my family here. My kids, they're growing up in Perth, and I'm just so glad that we're here.
Wow. Could you talk more on your journey, born and raised, initially raised in the UK, and the experience difference between UK in terms of schooling and education between there and Sydney? What kind of a culture differences you would feel initially?
Oh, initially I remember going to school on the first day in Australia and kind of not really understanding some of the lingo, although we're all speaking English. For example, we got to order lunch at school, which was a new thing. In England, you get a school lunch. You don't take a packed lunch, or you don't order from the canteen and you get what you get. That's what you eat. And the canteen said, "Oh, would you like chips?" And I said yes, thinking I'm getting hot chips, as opposed to potato crisps. And then I got the bag of crisps, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, that's what that means here." And then the kids in my class were doing drawings, and they were saying, "I'm drawing a picture." So I was like, why are they drawing a jug? And it was the accent difference between picture and pitcher that I had to understand, like how people say things differently here. And then even coming to WA, everybody shortens everything, afternoon, arvo, all of that kind of thing. So it was fun to learn these things. And all I wanted to do when we got off that plane was, we got off the plane in May, and so it was actually cold, but it was warm by our standards. And all I wanted to do was be an Australian kid and, grow up running around in the sunshine. And now to be able to be sitting here today and say that I'm in the Australian of the Year awards is just phenomenal when I look back on it and just think of where we've come from and how my journey has been so far.